Good morning. I was reading from my Bob Goff book, Live in Grace, Walk in Love, and he told this story, and I thought, wait a minute, I've read that before, and I got the longer version in here, and I think you'll enjoy it. So if you want to stick around for just a few minutes, I'll tell you this story. So he was driving home, Bob was, from church one day, and I guess he had this bright red Jeep that, was convertible, had no top on the thing. I think they call it a Thing. Oh, no, that was the VW. But anyway, that's what it was. And he's driving home from church, and there's a lady coming the other way, and she doesn't see him. She runs a stop sign, and she T-bones him. And the Jeep started to barrel roll, and he just flew way up in the air. And he says in the book, he's like, sorry, Mom, I didn't have a seatbelt on. It's the first thing I thought of when I heard that he got thrown through the top of the Jeep. And he said, that he just kind of landed, I don't know, kind of like on his backside on the pavement, 30 feet away, and his arms were behind him, and he said he was just sitting there like he was watching a ball game or something like that. But he said that the car was upside down, the Jeep was upside down, and something must have pinned the gas pedal, so the engine was racing, but gas and oil were all around. And as he sat there, he had one wish. He said it's a guy thing. He wanted it to blow up. He wanted his Jeep to blow up. So he said lots of other red vehicles showed up along with his red thing, and he started doing a limb check, and he realized that he was operational. He got up, and he went over to see this lady. Her name's Lynn. She was 87 years old, and he said that she probably weighed, maybe dripping wet, maybe 100 pounds, and she might have been 5 feet tall on her tiptoes. And she was pretty frail, and she was pretty scared by the whole thing. She just said, hi. He said, first he goes, hi, I'm Bob. What's your name? She says, I'm Lynn. And then she asked if he was okay, and he said, yeah. And then he asked her, and she said, yeah, I think I'm okay. But, and then she said, I guess I forgot to stop. And I would have to concur, she did. She forgot to stop. And then she says, because he seems totally fine. She says, young man, do you know that you went through the roof of your car? And he's just like, yes, I do. I'm fully aware that I did that. And then he said in a fitting voice, he said, Lynn, I can't lie. That was the coolest thing that ever happened to me. She looked up and smiled for the first time. I tried to buoy her spirits, and I continued. If there was a ride at Disneyland like that, they'd line up a mile long to get on it. Can we do it again next week? I'll meet you right here at the intersection. That's Bob Goff. I don't know where he thinks this stuff up. But then it got a little serious because she said, you know what I'm really concerned about? She's concerned that they're going to take her driver's license away. Well, I mean, that's like, if you're 87 years old, then you can't be a cowgirl anymore and just get on your horse and ride. I totally get that. And then she didn't want to be dependent. So a few days later, though, he got a call. It was Lynn, and she's just like, I am so sorry. He's like, really? It's okay. It's no worries. And then he's a lawyer, so he was in a deposition a couple days later, calls again. And then he says to her, because she says, I'm so sorry. And he says, Lynn, honest, it's all good. I'm fine, really. You don't need to check on me. How are your grandkids, really? How are your grandkids doing? No need to call. He said it was pleasant. He hung up. But he wanted her to know that he'd forgiven her. And so what he decided to do was he contacted a local florist, and he said, pretty much get the biggest basket of flowers you can, deliver it, and also stay and watch to see what the reaction is. And here's what the card said. Dear Lynn, it was great running into you. Now stop calling me, Bob. You know what? He was really glad that she understood that she was really forgiven. And he was really glad that she didn't stop calling, that they probably stayed in touch. I think that's cool. That story, share it just so you would know. God really wants you to know that you're forgiven. See, sometimes we just keep saying, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, I did that thing. I did it again. Yeah, commandment number, whatever, it doesn't matter which one it is. But in the new covenant, the price is already paid. God has forgiven us. And what more could he do than the cross, the burial, the resurrection? It's like the big bouquet of flowers, God saying, it's really okay. But you know what? He doesn't want you to stop calling. Keep calling. But you don't have to beg for forgiveness. He freely gives it. Have a great day.